Welcome, everyone. Thanks for being here for the episode number 2. And today's episode, the title is Rebuilding Stronger, the first Type 1 non-combustible homes for the wildfire zone. So as always, we bring together experts, innovators, professionals to help our community rebuild smarter, safer, and stronger after Eaton Fire and all wildfires, of course. Today's episode focuses on something very different, how we rebuild homes that are truly more resilient to wildfire. Joining us today is a team from the PHNX Development. Thanks for being here. A California-based design build company dedicated to helping wildfire survivors rebuild safer and more sustainable. PHNX is pioneering in a new approach to residential construction, including nation's only Type 1 non-combustible single-family homes, along with an innovative long-span roof system that caught my eye for homeowners in Altadena. So how wildfire-resistant homes work and how survivors of Eaton Fire can rebuild with a greater protection to the future. Let's get into it. Today, we have with the PHNX Development Group, Laurie Fisher and Sarah Roger. Thanks for taking the time being here with us today. Really appreciate it.
It's a pleasure to be here. It's a real
Yeah.
honor. Yes. Thanks.
Yeah. So I'll let you guys give a little quick brief intro about yourself and the company, and then we'll jump right into the questions that many homeowners are curious to hear. So I'll let you, Laurie.
Okay. Well, my name's Laurie Fisher. I'm the founder and CEO of PHNX Development. I'm also an architect. We founded the company in 2019 as a response to wildfires and how to solve the problem. And so we're here today to talk a little bit about how we do that.
Yes. Thank you, Laurie. And Sarah is your sidekick and
Kick. I'm the Robin Batman,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
the Chief Operations Officer. I work really closely with Lori. I have a background in strategic communication, and I work really with communication between our design build process and the clients and making sure everything is really running smoothly in the background and making this process as easy as possible.
Very nice. Yeah. I saw you guys' website, and you guys have a great team of people working together in every realms of life, helping fire victims all over, especially California, from all the way up to Mendocino, I think, or where was it? Fresno, you said, all the
Oh,
way,
you
all the
were
way
north than that.
more north, yeah, and all the way
Yeah.
down to San Diego.
We're based in San Diego, and we just completed our last home outside of Yosemite National Park.
That's what it was, Yosemite. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we do work statewide. But we can talk more about that too.
All right. So let's start with the introduction question and the mission that you guys have. So question number 1, can you introduce PHNX Development and explain what inspires your company to focus on rebuilding after a wildfire? And
Kev. So in 2018, I was called to help the survivors of the Tubbs fire, the big one in Santa Rosa. They needed help. So professionals from all over the state were called in to serve. And so what I saw was devastating. I mean, not just the loss of the homes, but the nightmare of what came after that. And so I was determined to find a solution. And so when I started asking people, like, well, what do you want most of all? The answer every single time, the same thing. We do not want to go through this again. So that became like a mandate for me and for PHNX as to how we were going to solve this problem. And who we are is we are a vertically integrated design build firm. And I know vertical integrated, that's kind of, a buzzy term these days. But it basically means that, we are involved in all of the phases of the process. So we're not just, a standalone architecture firm or a standalone construction firm, but we actually start with you with day one and we work with you all up until you move in. And then we're there after you move in too. And the most important thing that we do is that we are the only we are the only ones in the nation building type 1 wood-free, non-combustible
Mhm.
homes. We have no wood framing, no plywood, no OSB. We are literally the only residential home builder in the United States doing this at the single family scale.
Yeah, yeah, and that's what caught my eye, with United States, especially West Coast, so used to building, stud balloon type of, building where a lot of people think it's like a cardboard, building a home out of cardboard. So when I saw this, this is exactly what Altadena needs after because we had many fires here. The other one was in '92, which got close to our house as well, but a lot of houses burned in by Hastings Ranch and more east of the hills of Pasadena. So fires are gonna always come. It's gonna happen. So being ready for it will make a big difference. But building this way, at least we have a chance to jump back in the community and not be stranded. So yeah, it's very important in building this type of construction. So question number two, this is for you, Laurie, with over 25 years of architectural experience, which is very impressive. What did you see in wildfire recovery that made you want to create different approach to rebuilding?
Well, the one thing that I always loved about this job is that I consider myself a happy hire. I'm not a criminal defense attorney. I'm not somebody that, you have to hire, usually.
Hmm.
And so, clients are, dreaming about their dream home for 20 years and they've been collecting all kinds of things and engaging an architect is a truly happy moment. But for the first time in my career, here I'm working with these people who aren't really happy to see me. They had their dream house and it's gone. So having to deal with a client on that with that dynamic was completely new for me. And also, I had spent nearly a decade working with survivors of violent crime. And so, in that capacity, I was trained and certified in crisis intervention and trauma informed care. So, I'm like seeing the signs of trauma in these people
Yeah.
my heart goes out to everybody who has had to go through this. And I already knew the design process is really hard. Building a custom home is not for the faint of heart. It is a long process and it takes a lot of energy and
Mm,
a lot of money.
yeah.
And so I could not imagine people having to go through that when they don't really want to be going through it and they're suffering from trauma. So you had all of these things sort of come together and, I knew I was in a position where I could help. I knew that I could solve this problem
Mhm.
and I dedicated myself to that 8 years ago. And here we
Yeah.
are.
And thank you so much. And yeah, trauma is a big deal. We went through a disaster, and usually the word disaster, I believe, trauma comes after a disaster, and the trauma and depression and all that could last for years. And I mean, I hear some people that are saying they're experiencing PTSD and and a lot of stuff and a lot of other horror stories from people that aren't getting the support. Like you said, they're lost, they're confused, they're depressed, they even have some inhalation issues after the fire where it affected their breathing and anxiety. And so all that combined is very hard to do all these big decisions, where it takes,
Incredibly difficult. It's
yeah.
really, really difficult.
Yes, yeah, and it's gonna last another couple of years for people to kind of get used to everything. And yeah, and I'm glad you guys are there guiding those folks, especially that have no construction experience, that don't know much about construction. They only, bought a house fully move-inable. they didn't have to do much other than maybe just hire someone, to do their plug a toilet or sink or something like that. But yeah, so that I'm very happy that you guys are here to assist, because it seems like that's a little bit of mental health too that you're doing at the same time with the design, which is very impressive. Yeah. So, all right, let's move on with the next question. Your company was founded specifically to address wildfire devastation. How is your design build model different from traditional architectural and construction firms?
Well, I mean, first, the difference between design build and the standalone multi-step process. So most people, when they're going to build a new home, they hire an architect. The architect performs the services, and then the architect says, "Okay, here's your permit. See you later." Sometimes they'll help them, go through the bid and negotiation process, but a lot of times they don't, because
Hmm.
these services cost money.
Yeah.
And so the more that you add on these services, the more it costs people money. And, it costs a lot of money to build a home, right? So when we say, oh, hey, interior design is going to cost you about $30,000, $40,000, just the services,
Hmm.
construction administration, to have that architect be there with you during construction to kind of advocate for you, that's going to cost another 30, 40, $50,000, you know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
people are faced with all these costs and they're like, no, that's fine. We can do our own interior design. We can manage our own process. Well, that's a really bad idea, you know,
Yeah.
because once you get into construction, it's kind of its own beast. And if you're not careful, you're at the mercy of the contractor.
I
Yeah.
think my eyes were opened so much getting into this field just of how many trades are involved in building a house. I don't know, Lori, if you just want to go down the list of the amount of different trades and the people that touch your home. It's a very complicated
It's
thing to
it's
manage on your own.
it's a long list, but I mean, I honestly have no problem saying that about 100 people will touch your home process at one point or another.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
From day one through
If not more.
permitting, through construction, and so the benefit of design build. Now, obviously, we're not the only design build firm in the country, but we do have the most comprehensive start to finish services that anybody else can offer. So, when you sign up with us, we take care of you from day one, and we help you through the design process. We are budget aware as we're designing. We let you know if, yeah, you can afford that, or no, you can't afford that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we work with you and we come up with a really nice concept design,
Hmm.
and it's step by step. It's easier to negotiate. But the big benefit with us is that you don't have to pay extra for interior design. You don't have to pay extra for the construction. You don't have to, worry about all of those things. We've got it all under our umbrella for you.
Yeah. Because I believe you guys got the architect, which is you.
Mhm.
The engineer, is there an engineer on your team, and builders and all that? And I saw the catalog that you guys have while I met you guys a couple of weeks ago, and I have it here, and it's so organized, so thoughtful, put
The spec
together.
book?
Yeah, where people can look at that and exactly know how what like a lot of contractors that I talk to, they're giving out all these numbers like $300 a square foot, $400 a square foot, 600, 700, even I heard $1,200 a square feet. And, but like, especially the lower ones, when we're finding out, that's only basically putting on, the drywall and painting and putting just a rough cabinet, no detail stuff like and it's all low quality. So you're not going to get that nice shower door. You're not going to get that nice fixture. and sink or whatever, and you're probably not even going to get any dishwasher or washer or dryer or anything. So you got to worry about that as well. So with you guys' system, everything is included, which is great. So the homeowners don't have to do much of homework where it's like you said, we're still going through trauma, and we can't really concentrate, and that's just going to create more stress. So you guys are making it stress free, and
I
you
don't know
did
if I go that far.
well. Hopefully, you guys are absorbing the stress, so it's less stress on
No,
the
not at all. Not
on
at
the
all.
on the on the client. I mean, that's what we're hoping to, as
I
because
think
we
it's really important when you're researching who's going to build your house and people are throwing out these square feet numbers. Are you comparing apples to apples? Are you this square foot number, like you just said, is it including all this laundry list of items, or is it just the bare minimum? And so it's very easy for people to be misled with square foot numbers, because a
right.
lot of times if you're comparing apples to oranges, it's not the same product or the same end result.
No, it's not. Or one could be, organic. One is MGO, and so yeah, you can't. The taste won't be the same either in your mouth or in your head. But whatever. But yeah, that makes. We got to compare. We got to really. So you guys already know what we're going through because you guys started like Phoenix coming out of the flames. That's the name of the company, Phoenix. So you got to make it a little easier. I know we got to also put in a little work. I know we can't throw everything on you um, to help you guys out too, because everything is all partnership. So as long as there's transparency, there's good partnership, there's everything is out in like you said, if we get a little too excited with like a Sub-Zero that you can walk in and grab like a chilled white wine from, obviously you can't do that with within that budget. So yeah, thank you for having everything spread out on not a silver platter, but in a nice sustainable non-combustible platter.
Okay, so like,
You try to simplify it as much as
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah. Thank you. We need that. We're definitely need simplicity because we've already gone through so much drama, and we're still are. So okay. Next question. So Phoenix is known for building nation's only Type One non-combustible single-family homes. Can you explain what that means in a simple term for homeowners?
yeah, this is, I mean, and again, making a building is really complicated. Okay, there's a lot of professionals involved, and there's a lot of things even we experienced professionals have to spend a long time learning about. So we don't at all expect people to learn this stuff overnight. Okay. It really, really takes a long time. So we've been working for many years to try and simplify this language and make it easier to understand for folks. So type one is one of the 5 building types in the building code, and it addresses what kind of materials can go into your building structure. And so type 5 is the most combustible. It's the fully combustible building type. And that's what all the homes are built out of.
Yep.
Types 1 and 2 are the only building types that are non-combustible. And type 1 is the only building type that is fully combustible. So that
Mm,
means no wood at all.
yeah.
It's only materials that don't burn. And here's the thing, it's like we know how to build buildings that don't burn. We've been doing it for decades.
Hmm.
Type 1 exists for those buildings, high
Mhm.
rises, schools, hospitals, large megaplex cinemas, things like that. And so what we figured out how to do was to make that feasible for single family homes. That's what we bring to the table. And here's why that's really important. So like a typical wood framed house contains the equivalent of about 200 trees. So think about that.
Mm, hmm.
So when you're thinking about the Eaton fire and the Palisades fire, but especially the Eaton fire, because it was very dense, right?
Yeah.
So you've got 200 trees, 200 trees, 200 trees. And so, when a wildfire comes to a neighborhood like that, the home just doesn't burn. The home actually becomes a part of the fire. You're building a home, then you're not adding fuel to the fire. And so that's the beauty of what we're doing, is that not every single home in a neighborhood needs to be a Phoenix. I mean, of course, that would be wonderful, right? But even if there's one or two Phoenix homes in a block, it's going to help make the rest of the neighborhood safer, because it's taking the fuel out. And so it's giving the fire less fuel and oxygen to burn.
So another really important thing to mention is that type 1 is a classification per building code, which means that your permits are stamped that they are the most non-combustible per code. That means that we're not just here telling you it's non-combustible, it's actually proven, and all the products that we are using are proven.
Yes. And I believe it's also, I don't know if we're going to talk about that, if you have that anywhere that you're going to mention. It's proven even with the insurance company like Mercury, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. So
So,
yeah.
oh yeah, we definitely have to talk about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll that question will come up. If not, make sure you elaborate on that. All right. So next question: does the building with fire resistance system like yours significantly increase construction cost, or does it balance it over time? In the end of the construction.
Well, the first part of the question is, the answer is no.
Oh, okay.
And then it doesn't balance out over time,
Or does it?
save
Okay.
money over time.
It saves money. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So this is one of the biggest misconceptions that we've run into, like, oh, well, how much does it cost? So when I founded Phoenix, it was a non-negotiable that it was no more expensive than traditional construction, because we all understand that this is really expensive. It's a very expensive process. And you are looking for any way possible to cut costs. And if we were going to go into this and say, oh, this is all, I mean, we could have everything that we have, but then we have to say, okay, it's going to be 20 to 30% more expensive. No point.
Mm-mm.
So I knew 100% that if this was going to work, it had to be the same cost as traditional construction.
Mhm.
And we've done it. It is the same cost as traditional construction when you're comparing apples to apples,
Mhm.
you know? And here's another thing and it's touching on what Sarah was talking about before about the square foot costs, right? So, you've got some of these builders out there that are, you know, oh, 350 a foot or 300 a foot or even less, and we're just sitting here scratching our heads like, dude, how can you possibly go around saying that? And, because what happens is during the process, it's like, did you want a washer and dryer? Oh, well, that'll be extra. Oh, did you want this or
Mhm.
that? Oh, well,
Yeah.
that'll be extra, right? And so, what we've eliminated is something we call upgrade fatigue. So, this idea where, "Oh, did you really want that nice flooring? Well, you can't have it unless you're gonna pay more money, right?"
Yeah. Yeah.
And so with us, we're able to, because of the efficiencies and the innovations that we've incorporated into the Phoenix process, we are able to give folks a really solid, high quality home. Now, it's not, I mean, it's whatever you want it to be. I mean,
Yeah.
it could be a high end luxury home if you want to,
Yeah.
but it doesn't have to be. We can keep it within your budget and,
Yeah.
move forward. But Sarah, maybe you want to talk a little bit about what happens after you move in and all the money you save.
Wow. Yeah. Well, first I'll say, just to piggyback on what you were saying, the process that we put together is 3 steps. It's very streamlined. You're getting to pick finishes, and all of those decisions are going to be made before we ever start construction on the house. So you're going to know exactly what you're getting and what that cost is. There's not we've set this up for no surprises during construction. We just want to hit the ground, build your house, and we're done. The exciting part about, the lifetime of owning this home,
Mhm.
we may not have mentioned that our homes are completely net zero, which means they are all electric. You have solar and you have a solar battery for storage. So you're really not pulling off the grid very much. You are connected to the grid, but you're really just pulling if, we have a couple of gray weeks. But over the lifetime, say you do live in your home for 30 years, you're saving about $90 to $100,000 in
Mhm.
utility.
Mhm. Yeah.
And you don't have a gas bill. So that's huge.
Yeah.
And then another massive cost saving is maintenance. And so when you're building with these type of materials, yes, we're super focused on this house surviving a wildfire, number one. But something that the insurance companies love is that these materials lend itself to doing really well against water damage, which is their highest claim. There's no pest, there's no rot. The maintenance of this house is extremely low. So over the lifetime of this home, you're not going to be spending money on maintenance.
Mhm.
And to go back to water claims being a really high claims for the insurance company, when Mercury Insurance came in and walked through our homes, they were just amazed because all of the exterior of the home is the load bearing walls. So inside, if you have water damage, you're able to just kind of tear stuff out and put it back in without having to hire a structural engineer. You're not going to have to get stuff permitted. It's just an easy fix and replace. And the insurance companies love that.
Mhm.
which is why we are the first ever home builder in the United States
Mhm.
to have formed an alliance with a major insurance carrier. So all of our homes are pre-qualified for insurance with Mercury Insurance. And the discount is insane. I
Mhm.
It's
mean,
mind blowing, almost unbelievable.
yeah, like
Yeah.
going from 5 figures to 4. And not just 5 figures to 4, but low 4. The folks in our first Phoenix home in Santa Clarita, they're
Uh-huh.
actually paying less for insurance now
Mhm.
than they were before they lost their home. So I don't know if you want to ask us more questions about the
Yeah.
insurance, 'cause that's
I guess that's a question that popped up in my head. Like, what is the percentage? So let's say it's 100% before the fire, and then you rebuild in a non-combustible, net zero, green, very home tight, efficient, where not even a smell can go inside through the cracks because everything is void free, cavity free. Everything is tight, butt up to every single tied in to the foundation from roof foundation all the way up to the roof. So uh, that makes a big significance. So no, like in this case with the fire, a lot of the fires were somewhat non-combustible like metal roofs but they had vents, they had cavities, like attics or whatever. They ambers crawled in from the wind like a mouse found a way to get in, and then just boom, it combusted. So in this case, that's why insurance companies love it, because it's very bulletproof somewhat. So if it's, let's say, 100% before the fire, after building this way, does it bring it down to like 20%? Or is it more like 100 to 40, 45? Like cost of cost
well,
of
I
cost of
mean,
insurance, not cost of electricity. I'm sure electricity is going to be like, you're going to get probably money from the utility companies for not.
one of our testimonials on Instagram is our client in Yosemite. And we've got a really cool video, and I'm not acting. I mean, we were filming for the testimonial, and she just laid it on me out of the blue, like what their policy costs with Mercury. And so their policy is $1,300 a year. And she was expecting $15,000. This
Wow.
is just outside of Yosemite National Park. So if you want to think of the most high fire hazard zone possible, it's it.
Wow.
and it's remote and the whole, everything.
That's
So to go
amazing.
from $15,000 to $1,300 a year, that's the kind of savings we're talking about. And I just really want to be clear here that we have an alliance with Mercury Insurance, and they have an alliance with PHNX Development, and this is their only alliance that they've formed.
Mhm.
Okay. So you've got to be really careful out there about anecdotal, claims, especially from vendors and manufacturers and such, saying like, oh, you use our product and you'll get insurance discounts.
Oh, there's
We
there's
we
stuff like
spent
that.
we spent 5 years looking for an insurance partner.
Mm,
It took us a long time.
Yeah.
The insurance companies are tough, man.
yeah.
No joke.
Yeah.
So when decided Mercury decided that, hey, these guys know what they're doing. We're getting, like Sarah said, all of our homes are type 1 non-combustible per code. So that was huge for them. So the insurance agents aren't the ones, the claims examiners aren't the ones sitting there trying to figure out what's non-combustible and
Or
what's not.
vet it. They don't have to vet.
It's the building officials that say it's non-combustible.
Mhm.
So that's fine. And then,
Yeah.
like Sarah was saying, the whole water thing, the water damage thing, that was a huge part too. So just because, somebody uses some kind of block that claims that they're non-combustible doesn't mean that the insurance company is going to give you a discount. It
Mm,
doesn't mean that. They have a lot of other things that factor in. And so it's really important to understand that PHNX is unique.
yeah. Yeah, they have a good track record, and you guys, went through the hurdle to get all that examined, tested, and gone through, many, many observations. I'm sure working with engineers back and forth for years to get to that type of a web of everything coming together
Right.
as one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm an architect, so I've been around.
Yeah.
And so in the nearly 3 decades that I've been a practicing architect, I've formed a lot of relationships. And
Yeah.
the long span system was our design, my concept and my design. And we have a great team of engineers with HTK structural engineers. We have a patent pending on that system.
Yeah.
And by the way, next Monday, Sarah, do you want to tell them about the webinar?
Yeah.
Yeah, every month we do a educational webinar, and it's coming up Monday, March 16th, and actually HTK engineers are going to be there answering questions. And we really just use it as a platform to share what we do, but also educate on non-combustible construction, because there is a lot of misinformation out there. And we bring in a lot of the specialty products that they're not specialty, but the products that we use in our house. And it's a open Q&A. So at the end, we answer every single question that's asked. And whether you build with us or not, we really are looking to change the way homes are built. And so we're
Mhm.
very happy to share what we know.
Mhm.
And speaking of, I wanted to go back because this is a really good tidbit that I want Laurie to share. But if you are out there looking at non-combustible products, this is just so hard to navigate because it's very technical, but there are actually reports that you can specifically look up to know what the testing was on those products. And Lori, can you share what those are called? Because I think that's a really good thing that people just don't know.
Yeah, it's very, very technical.
So technical.
That's where the type 1 becomes really critical, because what happens is when we are in plan review, plan check, and we
Mhm.
have the jurisdiction reviewing our plans. So when we submit plans for a PHNX home, it is marked type 1A. And so what that means is the plan reviewer needs to turn the page,
And
and
review it in a
they're
different.
not reviewing it anymore per type 5, what they normally review for homes. They
Yeah.
have to go to a different section of the code.
Good. Good.
And
Okay.
then they have to say, okay, PHNX, your walls are supposed to be, 3 hours and fully non-combustible. Are they? And we say, yes, they are. And we submit all the reports. We use box blocks, insulating concrete forms, and they pass all the tests so that the plan checker can say, yes, check that box, your walls comply. Same with our roof, same with our floor. So there's all of these things that now the plan checker needs to look at. And so it's not enough to just say, oh yeah, believe me, sir, it's non-combustible. No. They hold our feet to the fire. And, they want reports. They want to see those reports they
See
can't
the
be
test.
expired.
They want to see
You
the
know?
proof.
So is that like a website, or is that like where can homeowners get that information from of different
Well,
materials
they can ask the manufacturer. They're called by various names, but just in general, you can ask for your testing reports.
Mm,
So if there's a product out there that's claiming to be non-combustible,
mhm.
well, you need to see a report that approves it for use in
Yeah.
non-combustible construction.
Next question. How does your team help wildfire survivors navigate the emotional and logistical challenges of rebuilding after the total loss?
Trauma has a way of making this process feel so extremely difficult and impossible. We do really come at this with a trauma informed approach. We really listen. We talk to you about your house, what you liked about it, what you didn't like. We really try to get you focused on the future. We really try to manage the load. This streamlined process has you making decisions that are easy in a timely fashion. We make time for you to pause and stop and make sure you're ready to move forward. That's really important. We don't put a sense of urgency on you. There's an impulse to want to rush through this and get something built, but we really give you the time to process and make these decisions. And we do not overload you with options. We've really narrowed down. We'll show you the best of the best and what we feel and kind of limit that so that you aren't getting overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just to add to that, we do include interior design in our process. And so, but interior design is a whole animal unto itself.
Yes.
Okay. And if you do not have a professional designer guiding you through that process, you're going to get lost really, really quick. It's going to slow down your project, and your budget is going to go up, up, up because you're not planning properly. So we have a system called the Vision Builder Interior Design System. Again, it's another proprietary innovation of Phoenix. And so, we have these curated selections for you, but you choose. You make the choices. It's just that you're not released into the wild, and you have to like choose from 50 million different tiles and all
Yeah.
these different options. We narrow it down for you. And the way the Vision Builder system works is it's all color coordinated. So you're making choices, we're not like other design build firms where they say, here's finish option package A, here's finish option package B. No, it's like you pick a color palette and all of that stuff just kind of works together. So it's fun. It's actually fun.
And it comes after we've gotten to know you and we've designed your home. So we really have an understanding of your taste and your preferences. We've looked at your Pinterest board. You've shared with us the things that you really love. And so that makes it all easier for us to curate what we're showing you.
And then there's space theory, Sarah.
Dream kitchens, they're beautiful. Oh my gosh. That's a new partnership that we just started late last year. Space Theory is a division of Henry Built, which are beautiful custom kitchens. And so they provide a line that works so well integrated with Phoenix. So you'll be able to go to their showroom in downtown Los Angeles,
Okay.
their team. When I try to describe how amazing Space Theory is, when you go into the showroom, they design kitchens in such an intuitive way that you go to open a fridge and then next to it's a drawer that you think, well, why haven't all kitchens been designed like this? This all just makes sense. And they're
Oh, okay.
people. And so just a
Nice. Okay.
great partnership that
Yeah,
we're
we're definitely gonna check that out because me and my wife been going to some showrooms like in Studio City, Burbank, and um,
yes,
those industrial areas too.
I highly
But
recommend
yeah,
Space.
yeah. Okay, Space here. Okay. Are you guys affiliated with them, or you're just using them as
It's another one of our strategic partnerships, one
a
of our
strategic? Okay.
alliances. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So one of
So
your
so
partners.
this is how we're able to deliver our homes at the same cost or, in less time
Mm,
than traditional builds. And you get so much of a better quality because we've done the research.
yeah.
We
Okay.
have the decades of knowledge and
Yeah.
experience in these relationships. And so we can send you to Snyder Diamond and have you taken care of individually with,
Mm,
our Snyder Diamond people know exactly what appliances we need to use in Phoenix. They know exactly, what kind of plumbing works the best.
mm,
And they have these packages that they start with,
mm.
but you're not locked into that. You
That's
know,
awesome.
you
That's
can you can
awesome.
expand beyond that and you can choose.
Yeah.
You have a budget,
Yeah.
you have a budget, but it's your choice and everything that's your choice with the Phoenix is fun.
Yeah, it sounds fun.
Phoenix
Yeah,
is
I mean,
fun.
and
We
it
should
and
yeah.
it's time consuming. Like me and my wife, we only went like a couple of showrooms, and we still need to see because we didn't get enough. And that took the whole day. She had to take a time off from work, and we are just driving around here. We try to make it strategic. Like, okay, from here, we'll end up there, and we'll drive back home. And we still, hardly made it back to pick up our kids from school. But
See, that's our job. That's our job.
yeah,
I mean, in the traditional process, I tell people this is going to be your full-time job for the next 3 years.
yeah,
And it's true.
yeah.
And that cannot be the case for people in your situation.
Yep, yep, yep. Yeah. So
So we do that for you. We take that on.
so everyone watching, I know, you want to try to save as much as money as possible, but please, don't choose obviously don't go with anyone that's not a licensed contractor that's giving you a price of like $250 a square feet and promising you all this stuff that's it's good to be true. Believe me, it's not easy. And like Laurie mentioned in the beginning, there's so much that you have to do. It's hard to manage all these moving parts, maybe 15 different trades people from rebar to grading to concrete framing and building, and there's so many different things that you have to manage, and then at the same time you got to get the material ready as well.
It's
it's
it's a lot. It's a lot.
it's going to be way too overwhelming. I mean, we're already overwhelmed with everything else with
In my
insurance.
30 years, every single time a client has left me because, "Oh, this is too expensive. I'm gonna do it myself." Well, I'll check back, 4 years later, and they're still not done with their home.
No way. Yeah, yeah,
And so if you think that, it's gonna cost you less because somebody's telling you XYZ, it's gonna cost less, I can guarantee you that in the end, you're gonna wind up paying more
yeah.
than you would have had you gone with a team of trusted professionals and listened to them.
Yeah, that know what they're doing, that have done multiple projects like the way you guys are proposing to do the homes in Altadena, and it's nothing new. A lot of these people want to save money and go with the cheapest contractor that probably just went got their license. They never built anything in their lives other than just helping other contractors maybe to learn the trade a little bit, and then they never done a full ground up construction. They probably just done a couple remodels, and then now this is a whole ball game. There's so much more involved with elevations, with slope, with drainage, with connecting to the city. There's so much that's different from new builds.
Yeah.
There's pressure. You wanna get back to your life. Like, you are
Yeah,
just ready to get through this, you know? And
yeah,
so we
Yeah, or because you're gonna save money in the beginning, but at the end, you're gonna have all these RFIs, changes, change orders where that 350 $300 a square foot is gonna become maybe even more, $600-700 a square feet. And then God forbid they don't do anything where they mess up, where we have to tear down and redo. That'll be a nightmare. So if you do that, then like Laurie said, you probably would never even finish with your project within the next 5 years.
I mean, Sarah, you've seen it too, right?
Yeah.
I mean, because we've been around now for we're going on year 7 now. Okay. So we've got 3 homes built. We've got 6 currently in plan check, from San Diego all the way up to Santa Cruz County. And, we've got other projects currently in design. So, we're not the new kid on the block
Yeah, yeah,
by
yep,
any
yep.
stretch of the imagination. And so now Sarah's been with the company for 5 years.
Mhm.
And, we've had people that have left,
Yeah.
and we check back and we're not building anything,
Yeah,
so it's really worth it to, it's sometimes hard to hear. And, it's like we are always asked, what's your per square foot cost? What's your per square foot cost? It, I mean, that's a whole nother topic. But the bottom line for us is that if and when we're going to give a cost on anything, it's going to be because we can stand behind it. If we're not giving you a number, it's because we don't know. Now, it doesn't mean that we don't know to the point that if your budget is $1.2 million, that we're going to design you a $2.5 million home.
Right. So
No, but
starts you telling us.
we're going to design something that's in your scope. And
okay,
if we collaborate well and work together, we will get as close to that target budget as possible.
okay.
But we're not the ones out there that are just telling you what you want to hear. We won't do that.
Yeah, yeah. Because some of these homes in Altadena, they're very simple. They're not, and a lot of people they're doing like for like too to save
Mhm.
money. It has a footprint of just 1,200 square feet, single family, single story home. So I'm sure with something like that, you guys can right away say, yeah, what's your budget? Oh yeah, yeah, we could definitely help you. Uh,
That's exactly the conversation. It's, like, what do you want?
yeah,
What's your budget?
yeah,
And we can tell you in that initial consultation whether that's realistic or not.
yeah, yeah.
Are we going
That's
to tell you exactly, yes, absolutely, this is how much it's going to cost?
yeah.
No.
And then when you say yes, that's basically not cutting corners. We're using less cheaper AC units or cheaper windows. It's
We
all
never lower the quality.
yeah.
That's important,
So you're gonna get top of the line tempered, non-combustible, fire rated windows. You're gonna get top of the line appliances. You're gonna get top of the line flooring and
Well, top
counter.
of the line appliances. No, no, be careful.
Okay,
No, yeah, yeah,
not top of the line. I mean,
yeah. You're choosing your own appliances.
yeah, yeah,
You're choosing your own appliances.
but
So
that's included.
whatever your budget can afford, that's what you're going to get.
Okay.
And if we do need to, you know, find, reduce the budget a little bit, we are able to do that in design.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, we're gonna give you suggestions. Well, I think you're busting your budget here or there. And that's where you make real budget savings is in the scope of your house.
In
If you really want to bring that number down, build less house. That's how
Okay.
you do it. It's not by, peeking out, less expensive flooring.
right.
Okay.
It's not going to get you there.
So let's say their budget. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So we're really good at you bring us your budget. We talk to you about what you want and we design to that budget. If you start thinking, well, I want a library and a study and maybe this, this covered porch, we can start saying, okay, this is how much this is going to be adding. This is going to be
Yeah.
out of budget. But here's where we could trade off. And we're we're able to kind of work with you to envision and create what you're wanting. But we're definitely budget conscious of keeping you informed early up front.
Okay. Yeah. But what I was trying to say is your whole concept of building a smart home, efficient home with the finishes as well, not just the type of, class A type of materials, but with the finishes, fixtures, and stuff like that. Those are also thought through, and it's suggested. Of course, let's say they're gonna build, and their budget is 800,000 for 12,000 square foot home. You guys can say we can still build, but maybe we gotta you might have to go with like a Home Depot type of appliances where it's not like a
Never.
well-known.
We don't shop at Home Depot or
No,
Phoenix. No, no. I mean, the thing is that we have these relationships. We've built these relationships over decades with other vendors and manufacturers. So that's why we can offer things that other builders don't offer. And so you are always going to get something of quality. Is it going to be luxury? I don't know. If you have a luxury budget, sure. But if you don't have a luxury budget, you're still going to get quality.
yeah, yeah, with like
So that's where we stand.
yeah, so reputable brands like Wolf or other type of appliance brands rather than
Yeah,
like
if you have a GE budget, you're not going to have, Sub-Zero Wolf appliances.
yeah,
It's the same thing as a car. I mean, if my budget to buy a new car is $30,000, I'm not going to even set foot into a Porsche dealership.
yeah, of
That doesn't
course,
make sense, right?
yeah,
So, it's the same thing here. It's like, and just because I can't afford a Porsche, does that mean I don't get a car? No.
no, yeah,
So what we're telling people is that you're going to get a house, and it's going to be a lovely house, and it's a smart house. It's a good house. It's
mm-hmm.
better than anyone else could build
Yeah,
for you.
yeah, yeah. Okay,
And
yeah, go ahead.
been around for 7 years, but what we're drawing off of Laurie's 30 years of experience building custom, beautiful homes and the relationships that she's created along the way and the knowledge she's gained on what products are the best and she's put them in houses so she knows what works, what products are tend to have problems. And so that's really where we're getting this inspiration on what we're offering you.
Yeah,
Yep.
we're not reading Yelp reviews to choose our systems and products.
Yeah,
We're choosing our systems and products because I know what happens to that bifold door 5
yeah.
years later.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, and you guys are building in a way where everyone's happy, from of course number 1 is the homeowner, number 2 the vendors that are going to provide the owners with service down the line, and the insurance company. Because that's all. It should all be like a good team that all are willing to be there for one another and not skip town like some insurance companies skip town months before the fire and left people stranded, I heard.
Yeah, no,
But
Mercury's made a commitment to stay in California.
okay, so that's good. So yeah, and then you guys are gonna be here. You're not gonna go anywhere like some contractors that just got their license because they see a lot of work that needs to be done in the area, and then once they do one job dealing with the stress, they're like, you know what, I'm done. All right, I'm gonna go back and being a truck driver. So you're getting someone that's building your house that's reputable, that's passed through all the codes and regulations, and it's been proven. And if you need something down the line, you can call them like, hey, something's I'm sure you guys never got any issues, but just in case something comes up, they you guys are there to assist
No
them.
matter no matter how good a contractor you are, there's always going to be something.
Yeah,
It's just inevitable.
There's too many hands in the kitchen. There's too many pieces. Yeah.
Yeah, and a building is alive. it has to do a lot of things to perform and keep you safe, sheltered. So it's inevitable that as you move in and as you're using all the systems and really pushing them, something might go wrong. Something, might shut down. Something might not work right. We're around for a year. And if something's not right, you call us and we're going to come and fix it. And not only that, but all of the stuff that we're installing here has warranties. And so when you move in, we give you an owner's manual to your home. And so you're going to have all of the systems, all of the warranties, how to use them,
All
you know,
Yeah.
organized, filed.
all. So,
Yeah.
so we stand behind what we do. So when I said, we take you right up until move in, we don't disappear.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, yeah. So that's very important because we don't want to just build something where we're gonna say it's our home and move back and then go through a nightmare of costly repairs because it wasn't done right.
Right.
And God forbid that person that did it is nowhere to be found.
And
um,
unfortunately, that happens a lot.
yeah. All right. We got a couple more questions. We're doing great, by the way. I'm trying to stay as focused.
I hope you knew you were getting into a feature film here.
I know, I know. Yeah, no, I really enjoy talking to you guys. I'm learning myself as well. Even though I'm a builder and a contractor, there's always stuff that you learn, especially
I
from
learn every day.
yeah, especially working with you guys that experience in this kind of a rebuild rather than me that never had to even though I did one job that just a house fire. I did a little insurance house job, rebuilding a house that was partially burned, but I never have dealt with the whole house burned and the whole thing. So yeah, it's a big learning stuff, and I'm glad we have this connection where hopefully we can work together and I can get some of my trusted friends and family look into you guys' concept, and hopefully they'll spend a little bit more money and build a more resilient home that can withstand a lot of things, not just fire, earthquake, wind, because we all have that here in California.
Hmm.
So, okay, and mudslides, especially after a fire with all um, the vegetation burned. How can homeowners in Altadena start exploring whether a Phoenix home is the right for their rebuild?
Just to start a conversation with us, if you go to our website, you can easily book a time to talk to me personally. I'd love to learn a little bit more about you, what you're looking for, answer any questions. We also offer a free home review. So if you want to email us directly, provide photos, talk about your site, we're happy to review what you have going on and let you
Mm,
know if it seems like we're a right fit for you. Beyond that, we have a webinar coming up Monday. We
mm.
have a whole backlog of webinars that we did last year with specialty experts that are on our YouTube page. So if you and search for PHNX Home, PHNX Home on YouTube, you can go and find a wealth of information about our home.
Yeah, rabbit hole.
Rabbit hole. You can tell there's big old rabbit hole you can go down.
Yeah, you
Oh,
could totally
I'm
go down
Phoenix.
the rabbit
Yeah.
hole, learn about all the products we use, how
mm,
we do it, get your questions answered. Again, this is like no pressure, even if you just have questions about non-combustible builds. I am always happy to answer those questions and I'm always make myself available. So just go to our website, contact us, a complimentary consultation. Let's just chat.
nice.
It's a great
Thank you.
way.
Thank you. Yeah, we all need that.
And I
Yeah.
would like to add that we are coming out with a catalog of
Mhm.
designed homes. Okay. And we've understood the demand for this. And so we are very close to releasing a catalog of 5 or 6 designs. And we will have price ranges on those.
Nice.
We
Okay.
are currently have, like I said, 5 projects out to quote in San Diego and Eaton and Fire area. So we're getting real numbers. Okay.
Okay.
And so we are going to be able to put real numbers, a range, again.
Yeah.
There's never going to be a price tag like this is how much this home costs. I just, that does not exist in construction, unfortunately. But we will be able to put a range on
Yeah.
these floor plans and these designs. And so I think that for a lot of Eaton Fire folks it's gonna kind of, don't you think, Sarah? I mean, we were just at that rebuild fair where we met you, Kev, you know.
Yeah, the more we talk with people that are looking to rebuild, there are a lot of people just looking, can I look at some of your designs and kind of pick something out and customize it from there? And we totally are understanding that and looking to fill that need.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, virtually, or if you guys have a model home that you just built, it's not occupied yet, or maybe do like a tour. But yeah, that all helps the homeowner. Feeling it.
Right.
I mean, right away you can tell if a house is sound once you go inside and close the door, especially if it's in an area where there's traffic or sound or whatever. You can tell that, okay, yeah, this feels homey. It's well lit up, natural light. You kind of feel that energy, from the ground going up your.
And you're gonna feel that in spades with a Phoenix Home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would help a lot, and that's awesome. Yeah. We'll definitely share your contact, Sarah, and Lori as well. So, people need someone to talk to. There are a lot of people, they're just even afraid. So, just by watching this, hopefully they'll feel more confident in contacting you guys because they had bad taste in their mouth with prior contractors or builders or whatever. So, hopefully, you guys will make it easier for the new people that are still in the fence. They still don't know, they haven't done anything yet.
That's most of the people out there, by the way.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So yeah.
One thing that I want people to know is that if you have not made a decision yet, you're okay. The people who have made decisions and are already starting construction and things like that,
Mhm.
they're in the minority. They are in the minority. And so it's totally fine to be where you are right now. Just don't let yourself feel pressured by that.
Yeah,
Okay. It's no
yeah,
rush.
yeah. Because we're all learning. I mean, even the city officials and permit checkers, they're all, still. It's a lot of them don't know how to, like you said, when it comes to Class A, they have to change a whole chapter and look at it in a different scope of ways. So
Type
yeah,
type A. Yeah.
yeah. Oh,
Type
what
one. I'm sorry.
type one? Oh yeah, type type A, type A. It's
Class A is something
class A.
different. Yeah, type one.
Type one. Okay, I said Class A. Okay.
Mm.
All right, so I think this is a good point of the podcast to move forward and try to close it out as smoothly as possible. And I could talk for hours. I'm sure you guys can too, but we don't want to keep the viewers up on their toes for too long. We'll come back again if you guys need more information. We'll do a part two for sure. The last closing question: if you could give one piece of advice to the Eaton Fire survivors about rebuilding stronger and safer, what would it be?
You know, I would say don't let the urgency of getting back into your home really override the type of home that you're going to go back to. There's a lot of pressure. You're really wanting to get on with your life, but this is a chance that you have to really build something that won't put you in this position again.
Yep,
Yeah. Totally agree because
yep.
unfortunately lightning can strike twice.
Hmm.
And there are people in this state that have lost homes twice, and we don't want to see that happen. So really give it thought about how you're going to rebuild.
Hmm.
And then my advice is hire a good team and listen to them.
Yeah.
Please,
Yes.
don't go into this thinking that you can, DIY it.
Yes.
No. And I would say even someone like you, Kev, who is a contractor, who does have experience doing this, you're traumatized.
Oh, yeah.
You guys went through a very difficult thing.
Hmm.
And so, some of your capacity might not be there.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So just don't underestimate the incredible challenges that you guys are facing. And it's okay, realize that. Ask for help, let people help you, and pick a good team that you trust, that you're going to be okay with, when they answer a question and it maybe isn't exactly the answer you wanted to hear, but listen to them because you're paying them to help you. And they've done this a million times, and this is the first time you're ever doing it.
Mm,
So listen to those professionals, let them guide you. And
yes.
that is the best and surest way to getting your home designed the way you want it, as close to your budget as possible, and within the time frame that you agreed on.
Yes. Yes. I totally agree. I mean, you guys couldn't say it better. Give that insurance that we all need because we are still in a state where we're experiencing trauma after the, not national disaster we just had, or is it called a national disaster? I'm not sure what
Natural.
natural disaster. Yeah.
Mm.
I think at one point the president was saying it might be a national disaster because of the magnitude of the fire. I thought I heard that too, but yeah, obviously a natural disaster.
It
That
was definitely one of the largest in American history.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, we definitely need the assistance. But we can't do it alone. We need, uh, you know, everyone's help. Especially, it's very important picking the right team that has dealt with this kind of a trauma and how to deal with it and help the homeowners rebuild in an efficient way that will safeguard them, like you said. So lightning, because we are going to have many, many other natural disasters. That's just part of this Earth. Hopefully we won't get a comet and get extinct like the dinosaurs. But we are going to get the lightnings. We are going to get the earthquakes. We are going to get high winds and mudslides. So all the elements of the world, which is earth, water, fire. What was the other one? So yeah, and to be protected in all those four corners, like I said earlier, all the realms of that disaster is a big part. You can sleep better at night. You feel safer going there because I know some people after this, they're like, "No, that's it. I'm moving out of Altadena."
Mhm.
No, Altadena is beautiful. I mean, that's why I've been there for over 40 years and I seen it I go everywhere else once I come into like Pasadena. Even if I see Pasadena on the food, I'm like, "Oh God, yeah. Thank God I'm going back home." Like you feel that energy pull. It's different than anywhere
Well,
else.
I'll say that, people that, walk into one of our homes for the first time, you know, one of the comments that they always say is, "Wow." I mean, it's always a wow moment. All of our homes have really high volumes and lots of windows and lots of light. So it's very stunning
Mhm.
and it looks like a high-end home. Um,
Yes.
so that right off the bat is the first reaction
Yeah.
usually. But the overriding feeling is peace of mind.
Yeah.
Peace of mind, and that's what a Phoenix home gives you. You feel safe. It's a home that you know is going to last generations, and you're not going to have to constantly replace the fascia boards and get it termite, get it tinted for termites and paint and and
Water rots. Yeah.
water and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I mean, and eventually you are going to have to rebuild that wood home, whether it burns down or not, because we've all seen what these homes look like, 30, 40 years in. And so, our homes will last generations.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's a saying, the smart man always builds on a rock. And and not so smart will build on the sand. And if you take the easy route, you're just gonna get washed away, just like that saying. Even with that bad wolf, you build out of a wood, the wolf is gonna come, and they blow it, the wood's gonna go. The brick
But
is
here's
gonna.
the here's the thing. Phoenix is the easier route. That's the thing. You're not sacrificing anything by going to Phoenix. You're not
Yeah.
paying more. You're not taking the more difficult route. You're
Uh,
actually taking the easier route and you have the right outcome.
yes, 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 yeah. No, I can't ask any more from you guys. You guys gave so much information. Oh, I'm also getting overloaded with all the information.
Sorry.
Yeah, and it's fascinating. I am gonna look more deeper into it. Especially, I'm fascinated with all the engineering specs. I can't wait until you guys come up with that. I would love to see that. So yeah, guys.
Well, come to our webinar on Monday.
Yeah, so that's what I was going to talk about. Those that have sat with us in this precious time talking about our future in building Altadena. Thank you. I appreciate your time. And if this podcast helped you get some enlightenments and inspiration, please, of course, contact wonderful Laurie and Sarah at PHNX Development, which I'll leave the website. And they also do webinar once a month. I'll go ahead and leave the link for that on YouTube, where you guys can continue watching to get further information, or you can go back and watch the ones that they did in the past. I don't know how many years before they can go back, but yeah, you guys can get knowledge of information about type 1A non-combustible construction method, which is I encourage you guys to do that due diligence and knowing the terminology of all those 5 classes, from number 5 being just wood, all wood, to number 1 just being all non-combustible, no wood whatsoever. So it's good to know all that, especially when you're rebuilding, so you have a peace of mind, how you're gonna build. So yeah, just share it with your friends as well, and family or neighbors, community, and just let everyone know, because we're here as an education. We're not here promoting, even though it's great if you guys do call Phoenix, but we're here to educate as much. Just like Sarah said, you can call and she'll give you a free consultation, that no strings attached.
Mhm.
So yeah, so they are here to help us, guys. They're not here looking at us as dollar signs and trying to take advantage of those that are vulnerable right now. Like Laurie said, we're all still having issues of trauma. I know I have a good way of hiding that, but deep inside, I got emotional when she talked about it, actually, so yeah, we are still very emotional. So so yeah, this podcast, Altadena Rebuild Exchange, is here to help in every way, everyone, from construction to engineering to design, like architect, and like Laurie, and a consultation like Sarah. So in every aspect of construction, and with codes, that's a big thing, codes and law regulations. We're going to talk more about that. We'll probably do another podcast with a small segment with Laurie, with another panel of law and code people from the official,
I'd love that. That would be great.
and then we can maybe have a round table crosstalk, which will be challenging, I'm sure, for some of us, especially regulators. So yeah, stay tuned for the next podcast. We are on a roll. I got a couple more scheduled this week, so I got another one tomorrow and another one Saturday or Monday. So I am gonna try to give as much as I can before I start my home. Once I start my home, I don't know how much time I'm gonna have. I'm probably gonna pass the torch to anyone to continue doing podcasts on our behalf. Or if you guys want to help and help us, feel free to reach out, because I can't do it all alone. So yeah, thank you everyone. Do you guys have any goodbyes or last words? Inspirational.
Just thank you so much,
Thank
Kev.
you.
Thank you. We're really honored. And yeah, we're not in this for any other reason. I mean, there's easier ways to make money, believe me. So, we're really here because this is our passion.
Yes.
We have a solution, everybody. We
Yeah.
have a solution. We're here. We're ready to help. We're
Yes.
standing by. So
Yes.
just reach out to us and let us help.
Yeah. Yep. All right, guys. Sarah, anything you would like to?
If you do want to understand more about the 5 classifications of construction, we do have free material that you can download on our website. We have a really good booklet PDF that's very educational.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for all this free knowledge that you guys are providing us. We really appreciate it.
Pleasure.
And God bless you guys and be blessed. All right. See you guys next time. All right, everyone.